So you can have so many passions, but there is always one thing. Even as a mother who is maybe an entrepreneur, a mother who has kids, a mother who is a wife, also a mother who is a sister, there's something that is always common. Even in those spheres of the mother's life, when maybe she's taking care of the kids, she's a wife, she's a sister, there is something that is always coming out so common in all these aspects, and that common thing is what you now need to dwell into. And now focus on that. And now once you have focused on that, it does not end there as well. You find that you also need to nurture these things. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Balance It podcast. And if you have not subscribed, this is a reminder to you to ensure that you subscribe and ensure that you follow us on all our social media channels. Balance It podcast on all our social media platforms: TikTok, LinkedIn. We are actually now on LinkedIn, so check us out there. TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Threads as well. And in today's episode,
we're going to discuss about how we can turn our purpose or our passions into a business or into an income generating activity. So stay tuned to the end for great tips.
Yes, definitely. And remember, this is a topic that you need for you. You need, in case, definitely we are on this journey of making money, but the goal is to create impact. And that is why we are talking about purpose, taking our purpose into a business and not just anything else, and doing things out of money mindset, but we're talking about having a purpose-driven business.
It actually reminds me, sometimes you really are in a position where you really don't know what exactly is your purpose, or what, okay, you know, just maybe you have talents or you have things that you enjoy doing, but you really don't know whether they're actually your purpose or not. I don't know, how would you tackle identifying your purpose, or how did you identify your purpose actually?
Because we have mentioned something about passion and we have talked about purpose. I think it would be really important for us to talk about the difference between the two things. And this is a topic that I am very I love.
Thank you.
And I am glad that I said I love and you said passionate, because that is exactly what passion is. Passion is something that you enjoy doing. Passion is something that you love doing, and it is emotion based. That is the whole difference between passion and purpose. So passion is something that you enjoy doing. You might enjoy doing dancing. You might enjoy dancing. You might enjoy talking to people. That is just something that you enjoy doing. But now where the purpose is coming in is the why in your passion. So if you enjoy dancing, for an example, why do you enjoy dancing? That is where the purpose is. So purpose is not now emotion based. Purpose is deeper than the emotions that we see. It is more than just the dancing, but you enjoy dancing because you want to glorify the Lord, or you enjoy dancing because you would like to showcase your culture. So your purpose is showcasing the culture through dancing. So dancing is your passion, but showcasing the culture is the purpose behind it.
So basically the deep reason you're doing that.
Exactly.
Well, that's really well put, because I'm actually also learning. I didn't know there's that much disparity, but I can totally agree. Passion, from even the layman's term, it's basically emotion based. And I feel like it's definitely worth pursuing maybe your purpose, and maybe instead of passion, because if it's emotion based, our emotions keep changing, and we are prone to maybe changing what we like or what we enjoy doing. But if it's actually we are deeply connected to now our purpose, the actual reason for being, or the actual reason for now doing whatever we like or doing or whatever we enjoy, that it means it gives us an inner reason to pursue things, or an inner reason to create change without basically struggling so much. Yes.
And you realize when most people ask you a question like, what is your passion, or what is your hobby? People can ask, what are your hobbies? What are your passions? You will never hear people say, what are your purposes?
Oh, true.
It is always, what is your purpose? Exactly. So it means that in whatever that you are doing, the purpose is only one. You can't have 1,000 purposes. You might find that in different seasons of your life, you have different purposes for the different seasons of your life. But you can't have, or let me say, a mother. A mother maybe has a purpose, which is maybe for the kids, or maybe nurturing. Maybe that is the mother's purpose. But the mother has hobbies, the mother has passions. Those are different things aside from purpose. So purpose, when just from the layman, or from the daily talk conversation that we are having, when I ask you what is your purpose, you just can't say dancing. Like, it has to have some reason.
Yeah, it's reason based actually.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can totally relate. But now, come to think of it, because you've clearly defined the difference. But I'm thinking, how can we now actually validate that this is actually my passion, or this, for passion you can, okay, we can just talk about both, but I'm more interested in how can we really validate that this is actually my purpose, because I feel like identifying the purpose is always, like, I wouldn't say stressful, but it's always a little bit more difficult than just identifying your passions or your hobbies, because your passions is basically things that you like. But how can we validate like these passions and this purpose, and just ensure that we now like fully get sucked into it and create value in life? Yeah.
This is a conversation that we cannot just talk about it in this episode and it is over. But I'll just, and in case you want more information about that, I'm definitely available. You can reach out to me on my social media channels. We'll definitely have a conversation on that, and it is something that I do on my daily basis, that I coach people on how to identify their purpose and turn their passions into purposes. So you can definitely reach out to me. So this is it. Passion and purpose, we have identified they are different. And we have identified that we have very many passions and we have one purpose. So your question was,
how can we validate this is actually my purpose? Because sometimes maybe I feel like maybe I'm led, my purpose or my calling is, let's say, entrepreneurship, but I'm not so sure. Maybe it's a particular type of entrepreneurship. Let's say maybe it's service based, or how can we say it? Product based. You see, but I'm not so sure, because you'd find an idea can come this side, an idea comes on this side. So you are really torn between a lot of things. So how can I validate that I'm actually supposed to be maybe an entrepreneur or something?
And let me just say, purpose has to begin with your passion. So passion is like precedent into your purpose. You cannot get into your purpose without identifying what you enjoy doing, because you can't say that I enjoy either cleaning and you don't have a reason for why you are actually cleaning. Or let me just say, for example, entrepreneurship. You can't say that entrepreneurship is my purpose and you actually do not enjoy entrepreneurship. So it has to begin from what you enjoy doing. So if you enjoy, let's say, you don't enjoy the having maybe in the 8 to 5 routine, you don't enjoy just sitting back at your desk, you enjoy starting maybe the strategy, creating strategies for different people, and engaging yourself in different activities on a daily basis. That is what you enjoy. And now once you have identified what you enjoy doing, then now you can try to see, is maybe entrepreneurship, that is something that I enjoy. I also enjoy dancing. I also enjoy maybe listening to people. Among all these three things, what is one thing that is common among all these three things? If maybe it is talking to people, and when maybe I am dancing, I am always also engaging with people in different conversations. When maybe I am in my entrepreneurial journey, I am still also talking to people, and I am enjoying talking to people. So you get that there is something that is prevalent in all these three aspects that of your passions, and that is how you can slowly by slowly start identifying, okay, now I enjoy, despite having all these three passions, or how many passions that I have, there is one thing that is coming out, is that I enjoy having conversations with people. So what about these conversations with people? Maybe it is when normally I'm dancing, I'm normally having conversations with people on maybe well-being matters. When I'm in my entrepreneurship journey, maybe I am always talking to people, to clients, about their products, but still I'm still telling them how they can be able to improve themselves as individuals. I'm still having these conversations on well-being. You get that maybe when you're now listening to people, you'll still find that you are still talking to them about well-being matters. So you find that once you continue doing that, because you see, we have come from the passions, we have now gone to one same common thing among all these three passions, and then now we are on the third stage. In these well-being matters, what exactly do I enjoy doing, or what exact conversations do I always or mostly find myself talking to people about? And that is how slowly by slowly you find yourself that you are coming to a common ground, that there is actually one thing that is always almost common in all these three different passions. So you can have so many passions, but there is always one thing. Even as a mother who is maybe an entrepreneur, a mother who has kids, a mother who is a wife, also a mother who is a sister, there's something that is always common. Even in those spheres of the mother's life, when maybe she's taking care of the kids, she's a wife, she's a sister, there is something that is always coming out so common in all these aspects. And that common thing is what you now need to dwell into. And now focus on that. And now once you have focused on that, it does not end there as well. You find that you also need to nurture this thing, because yes, it is something that is in you as an individual, but still you still need to nurture it. Otherwise, if you continue leaving it there, because you see, we have different layers of it. So because by the time we are getting into, maybe you like having well-being conversations, we have tackled so many layers, and if you don't nurture these under at the lowest layer of it, you won't be able to pursue it.
I feel like I'm just in a master class, because like I just needed my notebook. Thank God you're here, so I would go for the class. But anyway, you really put it so well, like breaking it down, how we can actually get to identify and validate that specific purpose. But I've also been thinking severally, before you'd be in these communities and also meet people, maybe mentors, and most of them sometimes would say, to validate your purpose, you would find that it can come from the environment around you or the people around you. So people would constantly be telling you, Edda, you really like speaking to people, and I feel like you can really be a good maybe coach or well-being coach or something, because it's like already they've observed you. Edda speaks a lot about well-being. Edda is happy engaging with people in conversations and just finding out more about them and more about what their purpose, what their goals in life are. And then someone would just come, one or two or three people would just come, would keep telling you, you really are good at this, maybe you can pursue it. And I feel like also that's also another way to validate your purpose, through listening other people, because you really get that sense of, it's like it's your market your market is validating you, you know, that the people who are outside, so they're exactly seeing how good you are at nurturing people into growing into their purpose and turning their purposes into businesses, and they keep pushing you or affirming that you're actually on the right path. And I feel like it's also a good way of validating it.
Funny enough, that is how I found my purpose.
Wow.
That is because I was in when I was back in Kenya, I was in an organization, and I'm a people person, so I normally find myself in social events, charity events. I was mostly used to lead those kind of, and I'm glad that my employer noticed that, and he could actually put me in those specific places because I could do so well, and I could do them so easily without even my work being affected, or I would just do them very easily. And every time I used to do that, my friend who was so close to me, who was, I call her my friend and also my colleague at that time, she used to tell me, "You are really good at this. You are really good at this." And even the fellow people, like my other colleagues, could come and talk to me and tell me problems that I don't know even how to solve, but I could definitely just find a way of finding answers. And over time, having those conversations or just listening to people tell me on what I am really good at, I now came to, now, like, I could get those so many ideas, and now I came to ask myself, why are people actually asking me this, telling me these things about me? Why don't I now think about it from my own perspective? And despite them telling me that, I was super grateful, because it's like they gave me an open book of where my path could be that I didn't see, because I just saw myself as this person who could just go to the office and sit down and help people in terms of speaking to people, but I really didn't know that there is something underlying there that I had to tap into. And it is until that I tapped into that thing that I now realize that now, actually, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is something that comes so natural to me. I do not have to struggle so much about it. And that is when now I started nurturing it, and then now I got to a place where I'm also confident to actually help other people.
I really think I can totally relate with that. That's why even I was like, there's this other way of validating, because I remember I have always known, also for me, I just have a calling in a particular area of life, let's say in entrepreneurship. I just know that entrepreneurship is also a part of me, and I would, for a long time, I was this kind of person who was so creative. Like, my problem solving skills are, I don't know. And
yes, problem solving.
I would literally be in a room and I'm thinking of like just weird stuff, how to get out of that room, But anyway, just like I used to have this, like you find there's an issue and then you just like an idea comes up, and it's constantly been growing every single time, because I feel like I can see a business opportunity in almost everything that I interact with or people that I relate with, and which is also such a good thing. So I've always known that I have a calling in that area of life, but I've just not yet niched down, as you've said, like the way you've categorized exactly which specific area of entrepreneurship. And this is because people kept telling me, Giti, you're so good at this. Like, Giti, you're so business minded. Like, you're really trying out different things, which is a good thing. Like, you wouldn't find me just seated. I would rather be just doing something. As long as it's a business idea, I would just try and see, would this work? Oh, it flopped. Okay, on to the next, or such a thing. And it's through that I've been able to grow. But I can totally relate with people really validating you, and it gives you the motivation to actually pursue it. And I think even that's the reason as to why I really got into business development, because I'm in a position, if I'm even in a company, I can actually bring a corporate entrepreneurial culture in that company, because it's just creating that entrepreneurial spirit in that company and ensuring that in the product cycle or in the sales cycle of that company, you can literally generate revenues, or you can try and seek opportunities from the different parts of that that product cycle. May it be maybe the interaction with customers, may it be talking to people, maybe HR, sometimes efficiency also affects revenues, or product development, how innovative the product can be. So basically, it has really been something that I'm really working on, and I can totally relate on people validating you. It gives you the courage and motivation to keep pursuing your dreams. And just thinking about it, definitely, I know for you, you've already turned your passion into your business, into a business idea. You can just take us through how such a business plan from a passion, because it's a service-based industry that you're actually involved in. Just maybe take us through how you've really been able to turn your passion for speaking or having conversations with people about well-being to now actually being an income generating activity for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I can say it was, first of all, it wasn't easy to get into a place where you are now deciding that now let me monetize this thing that I enjoy doing into something that I can be able to generate money out of.
Yeah.
And being able to monetize your purpose is a conversation that people have different mindsets and views about it. But my opinion about it is that if I can be able to work for somebody else, let me say an 8 to 5 job, and it is something that I do not enjoy doing, why would I waste my time there? And I can find something that I enjoy doing and I can still make money out of it. So using that narrative in my mind, that is what made me now start thinking about, okay, now I am good at talking to people, I am good at listening to people. How can I turn this into a business idea? And I was mostly specific with, because now I was specifically mostly good. I could talk to people about well-being matters, and actually that is why we are here on this podcast.
Exactly.
So yeah, I could talk to people mostly about well-being matters and just listening to people. And I thought, what is really well-being in a nutshell? What do people really call well-being, or how do I even see well-being in my whole life?
Yeah.
And I saw it from all these five dimensions. I saw it from a physical aspect, I saw it from a financial aspect, mental aspect, social aspect, and the financial social, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So I saw it from all these 5 dimensions. And I remember when I was still doing my research, there was this wheel of life that came into place. And the wheel of life is something where you are attributing your life to these major 5 spiritual 5 aspects of your life. So you try to see where you are at in terms of, so it is a wheel of life. So if you're talking about your whole life, you're talking about these 5 dimensions, and it is like it is going in circle. So it is either you are in your spiritual element, or you're talking about your financial element, or you're talking about your intellectual element, or your mental element. And I looked at all these things and I was like, when I was starting my self-development journey, I really didn't have that person to guide me or to hold me. So I had to do my research on where I can be able to get all these specific information, or the experts, which was super expensive. And now I decided, how can I really tap into this? Because this is something that I enjoy doing, but I really don't have the expertise in all these in all these elements. My expertise is, and my purpose is in now helping people find their purpose. But how can I bring all these elements together, be tied to purpose? And that is now where I said, let me try to find experts to focus on these elements, as I focus on the purpose element. And that is now I focused my mind on purpose and transformation coaching. And I decided to create a system where I can be able to connect people to these experts who are quite affordable, to be honest, because I didn't want it to be super stressful for especially for young adults who are in this journey. I didn't want to make it super expensive for you guys to be able to reach out to experts on my platform, such that, and face the same toil that I went through when I was trying to find where I am at, or my life purpose. So I decided to create a system where I can be able to just connect people to different experts in all these 5 elements, as I am focusing majorly on now transformation and purpose coaching, because that is where I came to terms with God, that is my area of purpose. So instead of immersing myself so much into the business of, I just decided to create a system that can be able to run by itself, because you see, I enjoy having those conversations with people. I enjoy having those conversations with my clients, but it is not my area of expertise.
Yeah, true.
So let me give people who have their purpose in those specific areas to play their role in that specific area, and as I play my role in that specific area. But also coming to terms that this can be a business, it took a while, because you know, you're coming from a point of, I enjoy doing this, to now creating this whole system that now you can be able to make money out of it. It wasn't easy. It took me like, I think, 2 years to come to terms that now this can actually be a business. And I think that is why we need more experts or more people to just come up and talk to us that actually you can be able to monetize your business, your passion or your purpose. You can be able to monetize it, because I thought it was not something right. And so I just had to talk to God, and I got this idea that I can actually make it a business, but myself, I am doing it separately as a purpose and transformation coach, but they are either way interlinked.
Wow, that's, I think, very much well put, because you would find sometimes people really, like most of us, really rush into turning our purposes into businesses without actually really settling in and actually creating value, and just settling in and understand that this is actually something I'm enjoying, but rather we are rushing to just like the money aspect of it. You know, I really like how you've put it, like it took a while before you actually decided to now monetize it. And I believe it's a very crucial step in carrying out a business plan, because this is coming from a point of something you already love doing. And for me, I always have maybe this issue, if it's something I love doing and then it starts being like an obligation, there's a high probability I will slack behind, or I will start feeling like not doing it. And that's exactly what I also don't like. Maybe monetizing easily what I love doing, maybe my passions, you know, if it's dancing, if it's working out, and just any other thing that I really love doing. So that's the challenge that I've also been having. But it's such a very well put out statement. And on to our last point, as we are turning our purpose. Of course, if you're having a purpose, I'm a very big believer of really walking the talk. If I have my purpose, you say you only have one purpose, right? In that specific season of life, right? If I have this purpose, it means that there's a brand that I'm supposed to create as a result of this purpose. If my purpose is actually guiding people in their fitness journey or guiding people in their life transformation, I should actually be in that journey of transforming lives, you know, maybe through wellness, and also just be in a position to create a brand that is aligned to this purpose. How would you tackle about that, like ensuring, even as you're within your purpose and it's now turning into a business, to really stay within the balance and maintain a brand that actually still communicates to your previous your clients, and still communicates to you as a person, and still carries the vision of the business forward?
I can just say authenticity. Authenticity is key, because even these big businesses that we have seen evolve, and they are now, let's say Nike, they are big, maybe Lenovo. These businesses, they carry the values of the founder of that business. So if you want to monetize your business, or if you want to create a business out of your purpose, you must start with the values, because as I begin this business, it is my values, it is the authenticity in me that the employers that I bring on board, the experts that I bring on board, that is what they are coming to take in. So if you're not authentic by who you are, And that is why it is a little bit tricky to monetize something that you think is actually not that is not in your area of purpose. Because you find that you get into something, you start a business, and you maybe start it because of the money.
Yeah.
And you have not thought about the brand, you have not thought about the marketing strategies. But now when it comes to the marketing strategies, you want to copy other people's ideas of how they are doing their brands, or the people of how they are doing their marketing strategies, and input it into your business. It's not going to work. And that is where you see that a business can collapse because they feel like they are not making enough money, or they feel like the business is not going according to how it was intentioned to be. But it is because the values, the why, was not intact in the first place. So that is the first thing. First of all, authenticity and identifying your values. Because if you want to start a business, you are the founder, you are the everything of that business. And you have to carry that brand wherever that you go.
Yeah.
And people have to see it in you first before they actually now
follow.
Exactly. Or before they decide to either buy your service, or especially like in the service industry, it's like you are the I am the business.
Well put.
Yeah. So people just don't buy what you say or what you tell them. Is people buy the trust, people buy what they see, by how you're conducting yourself. That is how you get clients. And everywhere that you go, you realize that you are the business, and you're always selling yourself. But I told myself I don't want it to be that way. I just want it to come naturally. I was telling myself the other day that it could be going against the law of business, because now there is the marketing aspect of it. But I told myself, because I want my business to be so natural to me, such that if I walk into a room, people know that this is Edda, who is always talking about purpose. When you see Edda, you know that there is the purpose behind, and you can actually see it in them. So I decided that I will be showing up in places, I will be showing up in rooms by being my authentic self, such that when people see Edda, they might want to now ask themselves, what is she doing that I would want to incorporate into my life, that maybe I can connect with. So authenticity, knowing your values, those are like the key elements of when you want to decide that now this purpose can be turned into a business.
I think you've just like finalized it. I can't agree less. When it comes to like the branding, the core values of the firm are directly related to the core values of the founders. And if you're also bringing people on board who are having alternate values, then you're going to have a problem in maintaining a brand. And just as you've said, you would want to walk in rooms and people identifying the radiance, the glow in your face, or also just how you conduct yourself, and be rest assured, like there's a different energy on that woman, and they would really want to know. And definitely these kinds of energy would be seen amongst maybe women or men who actually are very self-aware, or have figured out their purpose, or they're really trying to just be in line with whatever they know is actually for them. I don't know how, if it makes sense.
That's so
but
true.
Definitely that's a very good way to finish the show. Just ensure that you are the brand and walk the talk.
Yes.
If you are pursuing your purpose, let it be seen. And I'm so sure for something about purpose is, if you're actually pursuing your purpose, you are always constantly feeling joyful. You're always constantly feeling joyful. So it's not like it means there won't be challenges. Challenges are many. But the consolation that this is actually the right path for you is consolation enough to keep you going.
Yes.
So, and make sure now you subscribe, and also just share with us, like, what the purpose, how did you discover your purpose, maybe, and also what are the areas of your life that you've managed to turn your purpose into a business, and also how did you brand yourself. We also want to know from this community.
Yes, and until next time, bye bye.